That's why you got to get your Razer Walker out with the RGB.
RGBs!
Bluetooth, wireless.
The way God intended.
Razer, call me. Welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. I'm Vin, that's Sandy. Jordan is on chaperone duty this evening, but he's probably having a great time right now, just in case he's listening. Smile. Yeah. Together with you, Shotreal Dynamic, helping us form Cocaine Voltron. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you Linux-loving miscreants, what's up? What's new? Yes, that show title's accurate. It's going to be the first story, but first, you know I've been playing Quantum Break, Sandy. I've talked about it.
Yes. Yes, you have.
I'm going to roll credits on this game. This has been a multi-month-long project. I don't get a lot of time for gaming. Here's what I wanted to run by you, my man. Okay. What are your feelings on this? You ever get to the last boss, and you're like, I'm good. I don't need to beat you.
No, never. But go on, tell me more about this.
Bitch, you already judged me, man. I don't need to point. I
may have slightly judged you. I kind of like to complete things.
Good. If I could deny you of that, Mr. Judge. So, here's what happened. This is like one of those multi-stage, long, drawn-out, not hard, taxing. You got to stay engaged, and it's run and gun this entire time, and this is like 10 minutes of bullshit. And I died. I'm like, is this the last guy? Go to YouTube, find out. I was like, by the way, he starts out, he's like, this is bullshit, by the way. If you get hit by this one time, you start all the way back at the beginning of the cycle, and you got to go all the way through again. He's like, this took me 8 times to film this. And I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, though. When you kill him, the credits roll. And I'm like, I don't know if I need this. I don't.
You're literally weighing the pros and cons of actually beating him.
The other game in recent memory I've done this. I rolled credits and completely finished the original Ori, but Ori 2 or harder, I got all the way to the last boss. Mm-hmm. And I'd watched Dodger stream beating that last boss, and bless her heart, it took her like 2 days of hammering on this bastard L. She did it. I'm like, I don't want to go through that. No, I'm good. I'm good. I got to that point and I'm like, nah. Now, before you completely count me out, I beat Absolute Radiance in Hollow Knight. Go type that into YouTube and see if you can wrap your mind around that fight. I've done that. So it's not like old man. Then again, I had an old man. Have you played Megaman? You've heard of Megaman, right?
I may have heard of such a title, yes.
Apparently they made more after 2.
What?
I know. This is going to come as a shock to some of you. You're like, wait a minute, what? I was good at Megaman 2. Megaman 2 was one of those games I could just reliably, it was like DuckTales on the NES. I could just sit back and just beat it. It wasn't a thing. I had Megaman 11. I guess it was in a bundle. Maybe. Regardless, I have a copy of it. I'm like, okay, I see the bosses. This is me not beating Quantum Break. I'm like, I need something to play right now, because I don't feel like dealing with this. And I fire at Mega Man 11. And I'm like, okay, what's my cycle? I picked a random stage. It's got my ass handed to me. It just dead. Like 10 minutes, game over. I'm like, okay, go to the internet. What's the order? Start with Blockman. Dead. Got killed, man. I got it on normal too. I don't have it on like difficult.
Yeah.
Dead. I look for emotional support in the Steam forums. There's at least one person who's like, what the hell's up with this game? Like, I can't even beat the first level. No, I don't know. I got to find something to play. But good news, everybody. A little bit of surprise. Are you familiar with the whole thing about like you just can't go to the Ferrari dealership and buy a new Ferrari? There's kind of a what do I know?
I don't think I could ever afford a Ferrari. I'm just gonna keep it real.
There's this whole thing of like it's more of a joke, but a frightening reality of like if you go to the Ferrari dealership, you try to buy a Ferrari, the dealer's gonna be like, yeah, you can't really get the new one right now. There's a long waiting list, and you just get, But I'll tell you what, I've been trying to get rid of this one over here. So if you pick this one up for me, I'll see what I can do about getting you on the list. you get opportunities to buy Ferraris, man.
Yeah.
And I kind of went through this a little nudge, nudge, wink, wink stuff earlier this week because have you heard about the OPi Neo?
I have heard things about the OPi Neo.
This is the I'm familiar with the name, but don't you dare ask me anything about it. If you're wondering.
Yes.
Oh, it's the not Steam Deck that's running Arch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that. Pretty cool. Ryzen 7 7840U handheld gaming console.
That's actually pretty dope.
Pretty dope. Comes with Linux pre-installed. I'm kind of here for it.
I'm down with it.
So I was talking to my contact at Orange Pi because I have contacts now because I'm all professional and stuff with interfacing Linux, and I'm like, so when's this come out and how do I get on that list?
Mm-hmm.
I want to play with it. I think it'll be fun for Linux Gamecast. We got SteamOS coming out. It'll work out pretty good. Say hi to whatever you're looking at.
You.
Too late.
Too late.
I've already done it. And I get the email back. I'm like, so we got 2 new products out. Would you mind maybe taking a look at one of these? But, just anything catch your eye and I'll see what I can do about making sure you get on that. This is like one of those deals, dude.
Yeah.
It was like.
That's that Ferrari deal.
Yeah. It was like, we got some new products that I think it would be a good idea. Like maybe if you did a review of one of them, then, we'll see what we can do about getting you on that list. Fortunately, one of those new products is RISC-V, and Ubuntu just this week released an official version of Ubuntu for it.
Ooh.
So I'm like, oh, and it's very affordable. That's what makes me excited. I'm like, send me that one. I'll see what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it's good, because if it's not, I'm going to rip them a new one. And I'm never getting my OPi Neo.
Yeah. You'll never see that OPi.
Last week, if you tuned in, you might have been able to smell Sandy outside on the grill with his power out. What else were you doing after that?
After that, after I ate a bunch of my sausage and potatoes that I grilled outside.
You grill potatoes?
I grill potatoes.
How do you cut up a potato when you grill it? Or you just wrap it in aluminium and
cut it like that and then wrap it. And, well, you got to put the butter in there too.
I don't know, man. This is maybe you chopped it up and just tossed. Have you tried grilled watermelon?
No. But now I'm curious.
You shouldn't be.
Okay. Just
maybe it'll go good with your orange mocha frappuccino.
Listen, there is nothing wrong with lemon ginger tea, okay? Nothing. It's delicious and I love it.
That's exactly what a man in a purple plaid shirt would say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Played anything fun this week?
No. Outside of just setting up some more stuff for Project Zomboid, checking out more mods. Because, every time they come out with a new update for Project Zomboid, it breaks about 75% of the mods. But, because they usually end up adding features into the game that were originally mod ideas.
Okay.
So more and more, it's it's actually decreasing the amount of mods I need, so which is actually very nice. But yeah, I've been looking at mods for Project Zomboid and Starbound again because those games always get me back every time. Every time.
You got to play that. That's what I wanted your opinion on last week before you decided to cut your power up. That Baldur's Gate 3 Stardew Valley mod.
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah. I beat Minthara all the way. I would 100% Minthara every time.
Those are words.
I love it.
Hey, you got to go check out Baldur's Gate on Thursdays. This is once Sandy and Jordan, they get together, and I don't know. I'm scared to watch it, but hey, maybe
it's a gong show of epic proportions. We try to do the right thing, but it never ends up happening. So yeah, it's definitely a interesting time if you're down with the D&D, the sickness of D&D.
Gatekeeping. It's exhausting.
It is so exhausting.
You have to. You got to be done with the D&D.
Yeah, always.
D&D Music Factory. You know it.
Yo, Faerun represent.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, something we'll never be down with is the horse. Isn't that right, Vin? That's right, other Vin. Because when we're like, hey, horse, are you down with D&D? It says nay. That's right. It's time for the Steam Linux update of the week. Echo. As the show title might suggest, there's been an early prototype of the Steam Deck, and it has been sold on eBay. This is from Steam Deck HQ. Go give them some clicks. Give them some looks for that. What do you think about this, Studio? Like earlier this week, man, Bringus Studios showed off that unreleased Steam Machine Slim, Sandy.
Yes, I saw that. And it had a very nifty power button, I might say, on that thing. I was definitely down with that one. But yeah, the Steam Deck prototype sold for $3,000.
Hey, 2,000.
Oh, I'm sorry.
900.
A dollar too much. I'm sorry, but you know, you got to adjust for inflation. I'm sure inflation probably brought it up to the nice flat 3,000 now, you know, because you got to keep an eye on that. So yeah, there's a lot of nifty features. I noticed like on the prototype, they had 4 of the back pedals, like the back buttons, rather than the 2 that they ended up with. So, which I thought was pretty neato. Like there's a few features on there that didn't make it into the final cut, but it's definitely a piece of history that collectors are 100%. I'm not surprised sold as quickly as it did, because like that's a piece of gaming history right there.
They made a bunch of, you know, we talked about it a couple of years ago when like Valve was showing off the different revisions and different ideas that they had for the Steam Deck. And like the big one for this one is if you get a Steam controller, this thing's got the Areola touchpads on it. They're not square, they're round. They're like raised up like on the Steam controller. Different buttons, and the buttons are blue, you know, your volume rocker, power button, your shoulder buttons. I'm like, all right. And it's engineering sample 34.
That's crazy.
I thought there was a rule about that. Get it?
I get it.
Not for resale. Oh, man. I don't know, man. You know, with like the Steam Machine Slim that never got released, just like showing up randomly this week, then this, I'm like, did somebody get fired from Valve? Are they mad?
That's why I was like thinking, I'm like, they probably wanted to sell that for $3,000 just because it's got to pay for the initial lawyer fees.
Oh no, man. Maybe somebody's just like cleaning out their attic. I mean, this could definitely be a thing. And I still want that prototype Steam controller with like the big touchpad in the middle of it.
Yes, 100%.
I always see that you see it on like Reddit, and they're like, "Oh, I was at the Goodwill and I found this in a bin for $1," and I'm like, "I hate you." But don't listen to me. I mean, I also want a Nintendo Power Glove that shoots bees, so I'm not the right person to like pay too much attention to. But I thought that was neat.
It was pretty neat. Like the fact that it even showed up, and again, you were correct. It's like someone must have gotten fired. Like someone had
fired. Maybe somebody retired. Maybe somebody was just moving. You got to imagine, like, you got all type of like engineering prototype because it's Valve. They just handed. Listen. I don't know. Allegedly, they just handed out to employees like, "Hey, take this home, go play with it, and like fill out what's wrong with it." And you're like, "Here, what do you want us to do with it?" And they're like, "Keep it, whatever." Because you see these things come out, much later. I don't know. $3,000. So, what's the most expensive nostalgia retro thing that you ever bought, man? Comic books count too, homie.
Comic books count?
Oh yeah.
Okay. The first issue or first appearance of Hawkeye, Tales of Suspense number 57. Bought it for $1,700, and it's a grade 6.
Is that good?
So, which is so it's six so the what? The grading for comics 10 is perfect condition.
All right,
like, nothing wrong with it. There's no such thing as a 10. The best you're gonna get is like a 9.8.
Okay.
In comics, because the second it's like even picked up, it's already like a 9.8. So yeah, I have a grade 6 first appearance of Hawkeye, which I put money aside for that.
All right.
Cost me a marriage.
$1,700 for a comic. Listen, I've spent more money on dumber stuff.
Yeah.
That's
fair.
I think a lot of people are like, somebody's listening right now. They're like, amateurs,
you losers.
Let me explain to you with your rounding error purchases. Yeah. Like, it wouldn't even cover the tax on the dumb shit I've bought. I know you're out there. I would be too. I mean, like $3,000. I don't think I would personally ever pay that, but like to have that, that'd be dope. I look forward to like 100%. Whoever's gonna. All right, under and over. Next week, it's going to be a Linus Tech Tips video.
Yeah. Watch.
Yeah. or something like that. It was on eBay, man. They ended up dude really kind of gave it away. I think I would have tried to get more out of it.
I for sure would have at least tried to go for like $10,000.
Yeah, I would. Not expecting to get $10,000, but like,
exactly.
like 5 to 7, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Just because it's like it's the Steam Deck prototype. You know what I mean? So it's like that in itself is like something, especially with how well the Steam Deck did in
they sold
in the handheld culture. So like, yeah.
All right.
$10,000.
Let's talk about a couple of new games this week. Starting out with my favorite genre of video games, called the Characters Too Fucking Small to See. It's a very challenging genre. These just upset me because I immediately am reminded by another game that looked cool as hell like this that I enjoyed playing, but I don't remember the name because I quit playing it and I uninstalled it because the character was too damn small. No, not Super Meat Boy. I played that one no matter what. This has got a pretty dope teleport mechanic in it where you like, we were talking about like the teleports on Unreal Tournament back in the day, that you just like toss out and like bounce around. So like, think about like, I don't know, Celeste with some ninja swords going on. And that's kind of what they call it, teleportation twist. Ninja Ming embark on a path of trials, 241 levels of frustration. All right. I think that'd be pretty dope.
Oh, yeah. Like, I definitely see this, like, in the speedrunning crowd. Like, I'm trying to remember the name of the game that we did in the after shows in one time. It was a platformer similar to this, but the characters weren't as small. The name escapes me.
I see Pake and Chet is like Celeste. I mean, Celeste. Okay, my only negative thing about this is like, see how small the sprite is.
Yeah.
Celeste had some heights to her.
Yeah, she did. I think the zoom was also like closer as well in Celeste.
It's just so tiny. So little.
It's so tiny.
So I don't know, man.
Little fella.
What is it? It's $9.99, man. I mean, I'm not hating on it. It's just like that genre of like, I would play the snot out of that if I could zoom in on the character a little bit. And I have a 43-inch monitor, man.
yeah, you're gonna get wrecked.
Okay, I'm not. It's the principle. I don't like trying to navigate. I don't like my avatar to
Maximum
be
zoom.
like, yeah, it's just like, give me a reasonable sized character. But yep, there it is. What's this thing require to run? Oh man, you don't need an operating system,
At all.
CPU. Nope. You just need a 4 gig stick of RAM and 200
Yeah.
megs of storage, and you're good to go.
Well, as long as you got those lying around, you're golden, man.
Have you ever played Rain World?
No, not at all.
It seems like I would like that. Again, like Ori, Hollow Knight, Celeste.
Yeah.
Like these are my kind of gems, but I don't know if I go back and forwards on like Rain World. I don't know. Now that I know Silk Song's coming out, I don't care. I can wait it out.
Yeah.
I can wait it out.
Yeah.
Maybe when The Last of Us 2 airs, like maybe The Last of Us 1 will finally go on sale for like $20 because that's all I'm paying you for like a 30-year-old game, Sony.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a hollow dream. See what I did there?
I'm
just as hollow as this transition. Yeah. Okay, so a new game came out called Hollow Survivors. How ironic. Yes. If you loved, Vampire Survivors, this is pretty much a lot of the same mechanics. You level up as you kill dudes and try to survive as long as you can in this like twin stick shooter type game. It's yeah. It's I wasn't a big fan of Vampire Survivors, but
I bet I got less time in it than you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got like a minute and 41 seconds in it.
Yeah, I'm about 5 minutes.
5 minutes, all right. You got an addiction. You need to get some help.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, it doesn't look like a bad game. Like the pixel art actually looks pretty decent.
Oh no, this looks like, a very, I think I played this in like a Next Fest, because like this part right here, like going through up the stairs to the portal.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just don't like that mechanic of like face, this side towards enemy.
Yeah.
The agency of like, then things shoot around and like, then it, gets the sparkly upgrade things going on. I mean, it looks the business, but I wanted to bring this up because there is a demo. You can go try it out. Mm-hmm. Give it a try. And it's another $9.99 game. And I love little things like this. Do we need a CPU to play this? That just requires one Linux.
Yeah. Yeah, one Linux with 2 gigahertz and better.
I love this dark time where we need 2 gigahertz of the CPUs to play a hipster pixel game. Like the SNES title.
Oh my God. Amazing.
I wish it had multiplayer. This is when my word, we will play Hollow Knight Survivors. Yeah, sure.
Hollow Knight Survivors, yes.
I got Hollow Knight in the brain, man. I need my Silk Song. I've been waiting for 9 years. Hollow Survivors, but Vampire Survivors, once they eventually release the online multiplayer component of that, yeah, we'll probably be playing the snot out of it. Because, like, that's just a great after show play around game. But, like,
yeah,
for myself, I think I'm right.
I'm just here to record. Ignore me.
But we did talk about Quake 2. You dare say that Quake 2 was an okay game?
Blasphemy!
Said it was all right.
It's okay.
Tolerated it back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember the name of that map. The one with the stairs that went around the edge on the outside. That map. Deathmatch map.
Citadel?
I don't remember. I didn't know the name of these maps when I was playing them for like 9 hours a night, Yeah, whatever. It's like QD, whatever, DM3 or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
And Quake 2 made the news this week because of Microsoft. And that might sound a bit strange. Because it absolutely is. Oh, Microsoft has unveiled an AI-generated demo inspired by Quake 2 that runs worse than Doom on a calculator, made me nauseous, and demanded untold dollars, energy, and research to make. Hashtag. Oh, you might remember a couple of months back, we were talking about AI being able to theoretically hallucinate an entire game. And I bet you thought that might just be a little cray. Yeah, a little wishful thinking. Microsoft was like, nah, watch this. We got it.
Yeah.
Microsoft didn't think that was crazy at all, man. No, they went out and made this. This demo is powered by what they called a World in Human Action Model, a WAM. Microsoft words it. This generative AI model that can dynamically create gameplay visuals and simulate player behaviors in real time. So this is some fever dream WTF from an engine that was trained clearly on Hello Kitty Island Adventure. If you're watching the video version, there is little to no doubt. And I wouldn't call it playable, but if you grew up playing Deathmatch on dial-up, you could probably suffer through this. You can. Like, there's a significant delay. This is something it's free to play. You get to play for like a minute or two because I'm sure it costs like a small nuclear power plant to run this. It's really smeary fever dream Quake II, that first map. Like, enemies disappear and like it's weird.
Yeah.
I only like barely understand what's going on in the background, but like this is the worst it's ever gonna get.
Yeah, that's true. Like, and it's crazy too because like you see in the footage, like there's like hallways that open up randomly just off of the corner of your eye, and it's just like dudes disappearing and reappearing, or just completely gone, or like just a complete haze. It's just
right?
Like, what the hell is going on? Microsoft probably spent $1 billion on this.
Well, they're working on it, man. Like, it takes you over, I think, like GitHub to play. Like, I launched it in a browser. It runs on Firefox, by the way. And like, I moved around and it had like that half second, like 350, 400 milliseconds of delay between moving it around. And I'm like, I remember playing like this.
Yeah.
I do, man.
Bringing back the old school.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. Like, once they start like trading on existing game data and play styles, and like, I can see where this is going to be 20 years from now of like, game GTP. Right?
Yeah.
4.5, whatever it's called. Like, make me a hipster pixel game, kind of like Vampire. So he's just like, here it is, and play it. Do I need to come? Nope, just run it right now, right here.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get wild. So
yeah, it's definitely gonna get wild in the future. Like, I think there needs to be a little more regulation put towards a lot of this stuff, but
there won't be.
No, there won't be.
I mean,
like,
I
we're
like
not going to get our sex bots by putting regulations down.
Amen.
Oh, man.
Age of Empires is a video game.
Yes, I have heard of this game, and you too may have heard of this game. Well, guess what? Someone has created a application that essentially allows you to create a LAN server between Age of Empires 1, 2, and 3 Definitive Edition. He did note that you need to have all 3 games in order for this to work. But yeah, it's a neat little LAN setup, so that way you can have a little bit of the modernisms of LAN games. So like controller support, lobby chats, a bunch of other stuff like. So it's a pretty neat project, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna give that a download at some point. I just got to find my my old CDs of
that's on Steam, homie.
Oh yes, you can use the Steam version. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't know,
which is
like
pretty freaking neat.
Not having it's got online, it's got LAN PvP. I guess it's like allows you to create a persistent server. I was trying to read through this and get it around. I just wanted to throw it out there because I know somebody in the comments will be like, this is what they mean by that. Multiplayer LAN game modes without having an internet connection. All right, so here's what I'm guessing. Feel free to correct me if I'm right. This is one of those dumbass games where even if you're playing a LAN game, you gotta be online.
Gotcha, yeah.
Right? Because you're not hosting a game. They're spooling up like, hey, this is your server. like they do with a Quake Beth Mastered right now.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Where you got to log in. It's like creating your server. And like when that goes down, can you imagine this? There will be a future to where you're going to need to hack Quake to play it online. Because you just can't run a server local. So, yeah, I guess it's going to be something like that. This is pretty dope. I wanted to give it a mention, and we did it. Now, we did it. We did it, Reddit.
We did it, Reddit.
This is it, man. I know a bunch of people here run Linux, so, you're not a fan of AMD and those open source drivers. You're like, hippies. Like, I want closed source binaries. I don't want to run Wayland. X11 till I die, baby.
Exactly. Microshaft, give it to me.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Okay, so maybe you got an old, we don't say old anymore, vintage, retro AMD GPU. I'm talking Polaris, Volcanic Islands, Arctic Islands. And you went out and you bought a copy of Indiana Jones and a floppy whip. The latest game that came out, which I didn't know until I was reading this, requires your GPU to support ray tracing.
What?
This is a requirement. There's no off button. There's no disable button. And your GPU has to support ray tracing, or this thing tells you to go play in traffic.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
Well, some of the Mesa people were like, that's not cool. What if you got like a card that could theoretically run this? Your GFX 910 cards and perfectly good, even GFX 8. Maybe there should be a way to emulate the ray tracing extensions. So they're like, all right, we're going to do that with a RADV. And they did. Yeah.
Nice.
Look at that. Yep. So awesome. You can get your floppy whip on. I love it.
Mesa, real good.
Yeah, the Radiant Vulkan driver, it will now emulate that nonsense. And like they said, 8 through 10, Gen 8 through 10 GPUs can join in the fun. And apparently, I was reading through some of the comments on the merge request, and they're like, yeah, it's playable. But like, I always throw quotes around in playable, man, because you talk to somebody, I'm like, how's this run? They're like, oh, it's playable. Then I'm like, what does playable mean to you here in your heart?
Yeah.
Like, if we were to throw a resolution and a FPS into this playable, about where would that land? And they're like, 720p, like pretty stable 22, 24. And I'm like, right.
Yeah, that's what I love about like playable is definitely an air quotes thing. It's so subjective because some people are like, yeah, I can play it at 480p and it's like 60 frames a second. It's like, that's what?
You got to push. You got to push when somebody's like, yeah, it's playable. Like before you spend your money. These days, it's not too bad if you bought it on Steam. It's easy to get that refund. But like, if you're like, because I'm like, I got a 3060, man. I'm like, how's this run 3060? I'm like, it's all right. I'm like, let's put some numbers around this. Here's how you open up Mango Hut. And they're like, we don't need. Or I guess more recently, everybody's more familiar with it with the Steam Deck. The new Monster Hunter comes out and it was like, yeah, it's perfectly playable. Then some dude on our Steam Deck is like, here it is running on an actual Steam Deck and some video just to save you the money. You're like, no, it's not. Like, it's like 20 FPS and Smearovision with FSR. It was like, yeah. But, some people are like, I can live with it. Shut up. And I'm like, you do you, man. So this change is going to be in Mesa 25.1. It's actually already in 25.1 dev. But what I didn't know is you can already set the flag, which is RADV perf test, emulate _RT. I'll have that in the show notes. You can just set that flag, and allegedly that'll just work with the Steam launcher. And but more to the point, eat a bag of dicks. Machine Games, I love you. You made the Wolfenstein series, which I go to bat. I still say it's the best independent film made in the last 20 years. If you just go watch those cutscenes. But making it ray tracing is a damn gimmick. And don't old man me with this. It just is. The performance hit is cataclysmic to be like, A/B the two pictures, and I'm like, all right, which one's got ray tracing on? Because don't tell me it's the one that just looks better. I'll get that fucking wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just flipping a coin at that point, man. I'm like, but you see that light, and I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, what did that cost you? What, 40 FPS to do that? All right, yeah. No, it don't look that good.
Yeah, no.
Hard requirement, man. Everything
Yeah,
supports.
crazy.
So if you got like an older AMD card, you can now play it. I don't like dumb lockouts like that on hardware, man. That just rubs me the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something that you can toggle on and off. And I say it to the point of like disabling ray tracing has yet to make a game so fugly it's not playable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I listen, I grew up without any money, dude. I was playing, 640 by 480 and ultra low res, and like I played some fugly games, but like I have not seen anything ray tracing wise. That didn't make me happy at all, man, when I saw that. But to all the people over at Mesa working on this stuff, real MVPs, man.
Number one.
Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like reading the fantasy genre?
I do love reading fantasy genre. I do.
I don't typically call it fantasy. I call it wizards and shit.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Name of a podcast Jordan and I do. If you're a patron, you know about it. It's just called Wizards and Shit. Well, on the topic of fantasy, let's talk about NVIDIA and MSRP. Which might as well be Wizards and Shit, as far as anybody's really concerned here. Because it's time for those mythical number digits, aka manufacturer suggested retail price with a 50 series card, which is just straight made up. And I'm paying attention to this, man, because here we are in 2025, we're rocking into that. Like you would think like the stocks and things would kind of start settling out. And really the only thing that is like NVIDIA wise, it's close to MSRPs, the 5070, the one everybody's like, we don't want that one. Like, yeah, okay. You can't get a hold of 5090, 5080. So now we're getting to my territory. I like to buy the 60 series cards. I got a 2060 and I got a 3060. Didn't get a 4060 because I looked at the price performance of my 12 gig 3060 to that. And I'm like, what? Like, what? That's not really an upgrade, man. That's like my 3060 with a Navy 1 encoder on it. So I didn't want to tango with it, nor did I. But my 3060 12 gig is kind of turning out to be an all right investment. I'm still able to use it to make the show, still running DaVinci Resolve, doing my rendering, doing the streaming right now.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of interested in this 16 gig, because let's get to these numbers. The 5060 Ti, you did that to yourself, NVIDIA. The 8 gig, 379. That doesn't even sound like an NVIDIA number, does it?
No, not at all.
3? I didn't even know they had that button on the keyboard on the PR department. I think it went that low. 379. Yeah. The 5060 Ti, 16 gig model, 429.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
429 for a 16 gig card from NVIDIA. Now, before you get too crazy about this, I got my 3060 12 gig from Newegg in a lottery. I entered the lottery for a chance to buy it at full price during the dark times.
Yeah.
When you couldn't get a hold to a GPU. And I paid $420 for it. Because you remember a final bill of sale.
Yeah.
When it's $420. I really want to see what the price performance is on this. I want to see some benchmark. NVIDIA, call me. I'll be happy to review this for interfacing Linux. Just send me a dump truck of them. And it's at $429 would be $200 cheaper than my dream card.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get a dream GPU?
Oh.
If I just pulled up the dump truck
9.
with money in it and I'm like, meep, and I just tilt it just a little bit and put some GPU money on the floor. I'm like, you can only buy a GPU with that. What would you end up with?
Ooh. 97.
Damn it, Sandy. That GPU looks an awful lot like Spider-Man #1.
Yeah. Yeah, 9700 XTX.
Oh. You just power through it?
Yeah. Just power through it.
I would suck if I ever won the lottery. I'm a man of small wants and little aspirations when it comes to like thingamabobs. Like my dream card is like the RTX 40 series A4000. I was talking to like in the preview super shows, like I want that with a custom water block. Why? Because I want a render card that can technically play some video games, but like, again, this would be like $200 cheaper than that. I want to get off the NVIDIA train. Isn't that right, Linus? He agrees.
Yeah.
He still says NVIDIA is #1.
Yeah, #1.
You know, I would like some AMD.
Their prices have gone up quite a bit.
AMD got a 16 gig card. I'm going to be like looking at benchmarks, man. I mean, I'm locked in, man. I'm locked in.
Yeah, and the proprietary drivers have gotten like insanely good with NVIDIA recently, like in the past few years. So it's just
I would say they've been reasonably serviceable for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So yeah. Pretty all right.
Yeah. I haven't used NVIDIA for the last 20 years on here.
I'm not telling you. There's nothing better than the self-reported skill check of somebody. They're like, the NVIDIA card don't work. It's bad, man. And I'm like, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. You got to install those proprietaries. Got to get them proprietaries in.
Listen, man, one of the beautiful things, and there's no gatekeeping there. I always just get a chuckle about it because I help people install stuff on Linux pretty regularly. And the beautiful thing about an Intel card, for the most part, an AMD card, and you can just plug it in now. It's going to work. You got, kernel support. You install your AMD firmware. Good to go. NVIDIA's getting there. We're getting there thanks to the work being done with the NVK drivers. Collabora's working on that and, open sourcing the bits and, packing all the cool stuff into the actual firmware itself because that's how NVIDIA rolls. But we're not too far from just being able to do that with an NVIDIA card too. But man, I got to have my CUDA. I got to have my CUDA for DaVinci Resolve.
Yes. Yeah.
I do.
That's understandable. Someday the open source will get there. Steps. And speaking of open source, NVIDIA just open sourced something.
Bitch, let's talk about AMD, NVIDIA, the antithesis of open source.
The antithesis of open source.
I didn't think I would be using that word tonight, but there I was. Look at that. All right.
Yeah. NVIDIA open source the code for PhysX, which is, PhysX and a library called Flow, which I had never heard of prior to the article. So that was all new to me. But yeah, they 32-bit support for PhysX. And it works on a bunch of the CUDA chipsets. Yeah, and like I'm actually impressed that they actually did this. Which is
well, we had that little bit of a story a couple of weeks ago about not supporting hardware PhysX type stuff on the 50 series GPUs and causing the 30 and 40 series, even much further back games that required PhysX or supported PhysX. And when we were trying to run PhysX in software, it was just a dumpster fire. And like this is going to be released under BSD 3. So yeah, you can go play around with it. I don't know. PhysX is like one of those things you're like, hey, this has got PhysX enabled. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, cool. Like it was relevant for like, what was it, 2005 to like 2014?
Okay, let me get this right. 32-bit PhysX support was dropped. So games that 32-bit
you won't
games
get 64.
And there it is. You can go play with it, man. It's over on GitHub. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to do anything with that, but maybe somebody can look at that and be like, I can do a PhysX now.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Yeah, look at all that
it's
nice
a thing.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Mafia 2 had, or Was it Mafia? Yeah, Mafia 2 had PhysX.
Yeah, and same with the Borderlands games.
Mirror's Edge.
Oh yeah, Mirror's Edge as well. Yes.
I should go back to that game. I enjoyed playing Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge was a dope game.
Yeah.
Like the parkour in that was like really good.
It got fun, but it also got a little bit repetitive too.
Yes.
Didn't really mix things up. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
oh, look, it's that thing we did before.
We can stick with it. All right. Last thing before we get out of here, I was talking to Sandro about, and I'm going to do it every time I run across it, is when you find an article writer, a blogger, just an author in general that is going to dare say, well, I tried me a Linux. I had a full Linux the other day. And here's what I think about it.
Every time. So the gentleman's name is Steve Bonafide or Bonafield. Anyway, so yeah, he spent the past few weeks trying out Linux, gaming on it. And he had some interesting things to say. Like for the most part, everything ran fine. He would check the Proton database, do the usual stuff.
That's a smart man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he did more than Squeakers did in terms of looking around. So yeah, he played around gaming on Ubuntu, and I think he said one of the biggest problems for him was the anti-cheat situation, which he was cussing about kernel level anti-cheat and how it should be supported on Linux.
Here we go. Nope. We got to the part where the entire experience is went to poo. Games that require kernel level anti-cheat, like Fork Knife. Oh yeah, it's out. Yeah. Got to toss it out. Can't play Fork Knife. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, nobody likes kernel level anti-cheat. Nobody. A handful of competitive multiplayer games have Linux support. Yep. Counter-Strike Go, Dota 2, Warframe. However, for these games, it's not guaranteed. Yeah, okay, that's another thing you got to worry about. Like, you're not guaranteed something is going to work. And even something that did work, which he brings up a good point, because I bitched about it on the show, Apex Legends.
Yeah.
Very famously, they came out and they're like, this is the game that now supports the anti-cheat officially under Linux. And now they're like, yeah, not anymore. Also, it's a free-to-play game, so what you gonna do?
Exactly.
LOL, JK. I thought this was reasonably well written, and there's a mention of Open RGB, an Open Razor, for your blinky bullshit RGB peripherals. And are we there yet, though? Windows 10 is reaching end of life, which is terribly sad. And as with any, this has been going on since 95, at least 98. Maybe in Windows 2000 if you want to rock like that. Where these diehards, Windows 7 was a big one. Like, Windows 7 is the best one ever. I'm never getting rid of it. And then they eventually, use Windows 8. And I'm like, you know what? You were right. You should have stuck with 7. But like now people are like that with like Windows 10, even though it's about to be like, it's the best, whatever. And I'm never switching to Windows 11. They'll eventually switch to Windows 11 because they don't have anywhere else to go except for this brave gentleman who was like, there are other options. And like this is well written over at Tom's Gut. I like this because, he brought up, like you said, SteamDB. That's good. Because I think about this, and the reason these types of articles are important is because there are new people. If you're listening to a Linux gaming podcast, you're probably already good. We're not thinking about this correctly. All the assumptions. And somebody's like, I might try Linux. When they read something like this, they very well could take that big step of installing an operating system, because you're thinking about Linux. No. It takes a special type of person to install an operating system, be it reinstalling Windows. Like, that's a big leap. That's a big leap for non-technical people.
Mm-hmm.
much less even getting into, alternate operating systems like our crazy hacker Linux stuff. But, and he brings up Heroic Games Launcher and GOG and all the other stuff. Yeah, I think it's well done.
Yeah, it was well written. Like I wasn't a fan of the whole Fortnite thing. I'm like, but there's a lot of kids out there and some adults that play Fortnite. I'm not a big fan of Fortnite. Is it really a loss, in my opinion?
It's a good way. I mean, listen, Linux is a great way to keep your kids from playing Fortnite and Roblox.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Think about that. And nobody likes kernel level anti-cheat.
Like,
is there anything that you want to play that you can't play on Linux right now? Everybody be honest. I cannot think of a game that I want to play. And I'd be just blunt right now because I'd be like, damn it. In the past, like everything, I couldn't play everything.
Yeah.
Before we get like DXVK and stuff like that, we had to wait on Feral or whoever to port the game to that. And because we could play like DX9 games and below, maybe the occasional DX10 title. Now it is just, I still remember the first time that I just bought a Windows game through Steam without checking it on ProtonDB. Like, I stopped and thought about that for a minute. And I'm like, what did I just do? Are we here? Are we just done? Like, I didn't check that. I just, like, of course this will work. And it did. I didn't have to, like, they put the time in, not just Valve, but everybody at the Wine Project, Code Weavers, people working on Wine, all the contributors. It's a completely different landscape. And Sandy, you were bringing up, people are running like Bazite and Silverblue and things like that, right?
Yeah. And like just the landscape in general, just like in terms of like installing and ease of use, like Bazite has created that space where it's just like, yep, install, here we go. Now I'm into the Steam Big Picture mode. Like I'm set, like
it's just gotten like way too easy. In order for me to like get my torture fix, I'm over here installing Steam on ARM machines now.
Yeah.
Like this is like, I need more hurdles, man. This doesn't feel right.
Dude, I still remember it like it was yesterday. Anything with Wine, like trying to get certain like a lot of games to install, especially like DirectX 10 games, like you had to do certain libraries, you had to tweak Wine this way with each game, and then obviously when Lutris came out, it made things a lot easier.
Play on Linux. Tweaking.
Yeah, play on Linux. Yeah.
Lutris. Now we got Heroic.
Oh yes.
Now we just got a Steam Deck. We have a Linux gaming console, like a legitimate one that like millions of people have bought.
Yeah.
Like normies.
How insane is that? It's insane.
Have a Steam Deck, And there's definitely people with Steam Deck couldn't tell you what operating system it runs.
Oh yeah.
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 They're
Tons
like
of people.
It's like I bought a portable Steam game thingy. It runs my Steam games. I cut it on and I click to play and I play the games. But they're going to learn about it because they're eventually going to be like, this game's not running. Anything I can do about it. And that's why it's a great gateway drug,
It is.
It'll get them over to ProtonDB or reading around discussions and like, hey, what's going on? I just like curious people, man. Keep people curious. I think that's pretty good. What are you running on your TV box?
I am running Chimera on the TV box.
Chimera.
And it's called the Dreamcast 2. That's my pipe dream of a Sega console.
So you're telling me it only has VGA out?
No. It's got HDMI.
No, it's not very
because I got
the
I got the 6400 in there. I can do VGA. But I like to do the HDMI.
Didn't the Dreamcast have a VGA out on it?
It did have VGA out. So you could actually do composite or VGA.
That's wild.
Yeah. Which was like, it blew my mind at the time. I was just like, what? Like, because you could plug it into a computer monitor, which was insane to me.
My friend got a long time ago. the CRT TV. It was massive. I want to say it had to have been like 37, possibly 40 inches. CRT. I know
That's
this
huge.
because I got called up. He's like, "Can you help me get?" And this was like, there were no flat panels at the time. He's like,
Yep.
"Can you help me get this upstairs? I just moved, and nobody can like help push it up." I'm like, "Go move, big thing." Okay, fine. And we put cardboard, and we get it up there. And while I was pushing it, I noticed on the back of it, it had VGA input on the back of a CRT TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Like, hang on a minute. Where's your PC at? And we plugged it in. It still looked like this compared to monitor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it was still low resolution. We're like, but it was still neat as hell, dude. I'm like, look how big and blurry it is. It's the future. Like, we were all going to be sitting around with like 40-inch CRT monitor. Like, it's probably
little did you realize that computers in the living room, that is the future, man.
No, it's not. We're going to be strapping shit to our face, Sandra.
The future is now.
I'm going to be standing up, tripping over coffee tables because my AR thing didn't kick in right. I thought the coffee table was over here. Anyway, that's why I now walk with a limp.
Mhm. Has nothing to do with me, I'll tell you.
Dude. You ever just pick something up off the floor where you're like, I better pick that up right now because I'll kill my damn self if I don't.
100% all the time.
Yeah. I had that brave idea the other day, man. I took my socks off. I'd come inside and I'd taken off my slippers. I like took my socks off and I tossed them on the floor. I got hardwood floors, dude. I'm like, no, just get those up right now because you're going to forget about them and you're going to come around that corner and you're going to be kissing that wood.
Dude, I literally was, you know how like, I forgot to sit down to take off my socks. I was literally standing on my one foot, taking off my sock.
Mm-hmm.
My ankle just gave. I was like, are you
I was just about to say, we're getting a little old to be standing up on that one foot and trying to. That's why you got to get. That's why you got to get your Razor Walker out with the RGB,
RGBs,
Bluetooth, wireless.
The way God intended.
Razor, call me. Shit's water cooled somehow too. I don't know how it works,
but it's happening.
It's there, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap us up for tonight. But if you got in touch with us, come hang out with us. We're on Twitch, 8 p.m. live every Saturday. LinuxGamecast.com. It's got all of our shows. We do another show Wednesday, me and Jill. You see Jill in the chat. We talked about Ploopy Classic this week, a trackball that you can make at home. And also breakout boards for old cell phones that'll turn them into Raspberry Pis. Kinda. Pretty dope. If you like the show, you want to support what we do, help us pay some of these bills, you can do that. Patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. As a thank you, you get a live and uncut version of the show if you can't make that live stream. Give that to you in a podcast, access to the show notes, access to our Discord. Got a video version made just for you. Like, I ain't got time to watch this YouTube nonsense. I want a higher video quality, better audio quality. I upload one of those to the Patreon every single week. Also going to put your name in the credits. Why? Because we're good like that. And we've had I think we've had a Star Wars crawl at the end of the show ever since I was able to like pull that technology off. Like, it's just like one of those things. It's a vestige. You're like, why is that there? Because it's always been there. Shut up.
Facts.
And we do get a new patron. I want to thank DX Ghost Talk, our latest beautiful party patron, who also was the person last week that I couldn't remember the name that picked up from our wish list. Everybody's got a little wish list over on Linux Gamecast, and I had one here for the studio, and it's like I had an idea. Like, can I get a chair that turns into a table? No, but they do make a chair that kind of folds out that I can use as a bench.
Oh,
It's over there in the corner right now. It's being used right now. Also, I'm too long for it. I had no illusions of ever like trying to like stretch out in it, but like it's a pretty good chair when it's folded up as a chair. But You can the sit down part folds up, and I can take these when I got like 3 or 4 motherboards on the floor and I'm benchmarking. I can put them up on that, and the more I'm not having to like step over things in here. But I was like, hey, can I like lay down? I was like, yeah, I'm a little too long for this one. That's all right, though. I'm used to
it. That's awesome.
Thank you again, DX Ghost Talk. That was dope. It's always good to get little surprises in the mail. Yeah. Also, Raking Claw and Norse Ranger, Raking Claw with the 7 months right here on Twitch, along with 31 months for the Norse, aka Anger.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Good job, guys.
Yeah. All right. We did it, Sandro.
We did it.
Time to get the hell up out of here. But before we do that, we got to cue that music. You can get in touch with me. Man, best place to do it if you got some technical questions about how to get your Linux on, how to do stuff, then you're like, hey, Vin, you've probably done that before. You would not be wrong. Head over to Interfacing Linux as a site that I have that I'm building, dedicated for the Linux creatives. People like to do audio, video, you name it. I'm there. Got the forums. Sign up. I'm not going to sell your information. Like to who? Come on, let's be real. And I will try to help you out or just chat with you in general. And yeah, all the social media stuff, you can probably find that somewhere. Whatever. Reply me. I dare you.
And I'm Sandy Martin, and I'm only on Mastodon. You can find me at Altimore at mass.linuxgamecast.com.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's do those credits.
Oh my God.
We're still pudding.
You're still pudding?
Explosive pudding. No consequences, though. We're guilt-free explosive pudding.
Yeah, barely.
Hey, let's thank our advisor, Art Theron, along with the executive producers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Ian K. Arducky, drummer to Targos, Barbramp, Scots, and Atomic.
And let's thank the Chicago Kickasses, Glorious Egg Roll, Basil, Empty, and Cataclysm. The Sea Monsters, John, Dirty Dean, Angel, Dementor, System T, RL, Rider X Machina, Nahimilin, Mike, and Kajorian.
Hey, all the other people, all of our cheerlings, like Beckett. I never get Beckett, Tim, Ethan. I think I got some Unoid up in there.
Door-to-door geek.
Yeah.
Zeno.
You and Shoddy, of course, over on Libra Pay as well. Hey, everyone. Hope you had a good time. We always have a fun time hanging out, talking smack. Come check it out if you get a chance. And if you're listening this far and you're watching on YouTube, click that damn thumbs up button. I know you'd rather grind your own toes off with A1 steak sauce.
Or pickled ranch.
Or pickled ranch. It's going to take an awful long time. Much longer than it would just to hit that thumbs up button. I dare you. I'm trying to talk people into doing it. I love it when we have especially have 487 views and there's 12 likes.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
I bet you don't even have the stones to press the like button.
And if you don't like the show, hit the thumbs arrow down twice to make sure YouTube really knows.
Yes. Possibly even 4 times.
Yeah, just make sure it's an even increment, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know it. Dynafire. See you next week. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
5 dudes.